electrifying episode of Healthy Mind, Healthy Life. I'm your host, Sana, and today, well, we are unlocking a vault. Not one filled with cash or crypto, but something even more powerful, listeners. Your infinite conceptual bank. Yes, you heard that right. Now, what if I told you that the wealthiest asset you own isn't in your wallet or in your bank, your business, or even your portfolio, but it's in your ideas, your vision, your mindset? But don't be surprised. And there is no one better to guide us into this concept than Randolph Love III. Now, let me share a bit about Randolph with all of you. He's the founder and president of the Shieldwolf Strongholds, a leading wealth protection firm, and host of the Entrepreneur Nudist podcast. Sorry for the pronunciation, Randolph, which is ranked in the top 10% of podcasts for entrepreneurs. And as a chartered financial consultant and certified IUL Master, Randolph works with the business owners, retirees, and franchisees to help them build real, lasting wealth. And he's doing it not just with strategy, but also with soul. Now, today we are not just talking about finance, listeners. We are talking mental frameworks, vision capital, and building an internal economy that keeps compounding even when life throws curveballs at you. So, with that, let's quickly get into this interesting conversation. Randolph, welcome to the show, and I am really, really excited to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. And now I see, because I've listened to multiple of your episodes, and people are typically shocked and surprised at how great the introduction is. Because us as guests, we're used to people just reading what we sent, right? But you really did throw some luxurious dressing on that introduction. I want to thank you for that.
Luxurious dressing. That's really such a good phrase. Thank you so much, Randolph, for the kind words. And with that, let me throw you my first question at you. Okay, so when I was reading through your intro, this particular phrase, infinite conceptual bank, it is really powerful. It is poetic, and it's kind of figurative in some ways. So, can you break it down for us? I mean, what exactly does this mean, and how does someone begin creating one?
Yes, and the reason why we call it a conceptual bank, because it's not like a federal bank, to where, you put your money in there, it earns less than 1%, whereas that bank is lending your money out. It's called the velocity of money. They're lending your money out at least 17 times that year, 12 times in a down years. So, and when you think about it, you put your money in, they loan it out, and when a bank loans money out to somebody, that money doesn't just stay out there. It comes back to the banks. So imagine you borrow money to have a house built for 250,000, right? And then where are you going to give that 250,000 to? You're going to give it to the contractor, and the contractor is going to put that money in the bank, and then they're going to write checks to their vendors. They're going to write checks to their laborers, and when they write checks to them, where are they going to put it? They're going to put that money right back in the bank, and the bank loans it out. When we say we want to help you build a conceptual bank, it's to where you're able to do that for yourself, where you're able to make money, make babies, as we describe it. One of the things I do is, I typically like to shock people when they first meet me. They say, "What do you do?" I say, "I help people make money, make babies." And they say, and they're shocked at first, and they say, "What does that mean?" And I say, "If you can impregnate $100 bill, would you not?" So what we use internal revenue codes in order to help people make their own bank, not a federal bank, but a conceptual bank that allows them the opportunity to loan themselves money and pay themselves back if they want to, and never run out of money against the lifestyle that they choose.
Hmm. That is irrespective of any lifestyle they wish to choose.
hmm
Mm. Wow,
They say
that is
you can
interesting.
line 100 successful people up and ask them what their definition of success is, and all 100 are going to say different things, because success is subjective. what's your lifestyle? And then, all right, how do we choose to make that go on? Um, uh, Robert Kiyosaki, he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Uh, a lot of people don't understand what wealth is. Oh, the way you describe what wealth is based off your current preferred lifestyle. If you
Mhm.
stop working right now, how long can you continue with that same preferred lifestyle until you have to go back to work? If you can only do that for a week, where you're 1 week wealthy. If you could do that for a month, 2 months, where you're 2 months wealthy. If you can do that for years, then you're wealthy in that sense. And I can get into details of how we put it together, but 30,000 feet, we create vehicles for people to have their money liquid to where they can get to it when they want, have it saved to where they don't go to sleep and wake up and maybe they lost 30, 20, 40% overnight, have it having predictable good rates of returns, not just sitting in a typical savings account earning less than 1%, and have it be tax favored. What's the point of being able to get to the money and have it safe and have it have great predictable rates of return where as soon as you go to access it, it gets demolished in taxes?
Mm, that's true. That's quite a headache.
Mhm.
Uh,
It could be.
Yeah. But really, it's really interesting that how you flip the script, not in terms of just, simply or blindly multiplying dollars or rupees or whatever currency, but it's more about multiplying the, if I can say, dimensions of thought.
Mhm.
And Randolph, let's talk about, since you have helped countless people with wealth protection and exit planning as well. Um, how do you exactly see the role of mindset playing a role in how people build and protect their financial empires? Like some people will say, "Oh, I work on creating, working on my savings. I kind of calculate that, okay, if I'm, as you mentioned, that if I am out of job, if I'm not working, then how long those savings can sustain me." Then some people will say, I keep on investing money and, matching to the inflation rate, and it keeps on multiplying. And that kind of helps me not just survive, but thrive as well. So, how exactly mindset plays a role in this?
Ah, man, mindset is the most important part. One
Mhm.
of my favorite quotes from Henry Ford is, "Whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're probably right." It really depends on what you believe you can do. And a lot of people are coming into generations to where they're the first generation in their family to earn 6 plus figures, 7 plus figures, 8 plus figures. And what happens is the person that you usually go to for advice, your mothers, your fathers, your uncles, your aunts, your grandparents, your grandfathers, the people that you usually go through for advice have never earned anything more than 35, 30,000 US dollars annually. And therefore they can't tell you what to do. And so when instead of them saying, I don't know, they give you advice based off their understanding of money. So when,
Mhm.
yes, if your mindset is limited to thinking, right, oh, I can't do that, or I have to make scarce, I took all of these risks to earn this money and you were rewarded for the risk. It was calculated risk. Some you just got lucky, right? The risk the reward was probably nowhere near the potential dangers, but you got lucky. You made it through, but you took all of these calculated risks to earn this money, and now when it comes to the money, you start switching to a scarcity mindset. And when you switch to that scarcity mindset, unfortunately, because you believe you can't, as the quote goes, that's what happens. So, yes, mindset is probably the most important part of this, and you have to see it's possible. I do, regular monthly events here in Jacksonville and Florida, here in the States. But
Mhm.
the reason why I do it is I want people to see people who have already gotten to where they want to go so that they can believe it's possible. Because the weird thing about the mind is once it believes that it's possible, It happens. Well, another one of my favorite quotes from Napoleon Hill. He says, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." And when you see something possible, it's good to have an imagination. There are a lot of geniuses in all aspects, but some geniuses, they don't even have to see that as possible to bring it into this tangible world. But most people, if they're not that imaginative, if they can see that somebody has done it, the possibility exists, then they do it. So yes, I truly agree. Mindset is the most important thing.
Hmm. So from scarcity to abundance mindset.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Abundance. As you think, so are you. The religious people call it prayer. The
Yeah.
scientists call it autosuggestion. They both agree that it works.
Mm. That is right. That is right. Okay, so how do we start? Randolph, what's the first step? What
All right.
habits or tactical practices or disciplines?
So the first step is to decide what that looks like to you. Like, what does success look like to you? If money isn't everything, but a lot of times, if you're trying to create money that can last you into the future, not just one day, not just 2 weeks, not just 2 years, but indefinitely, an infinite bank, an infinite conceptual bank, then you definitely want to decide what that amount is. A lot of people die because they don't have enough or they don't know what enough is. The mind, we were just talking about mindset. When you don't know that any additional money is coming, it shortens your lifespan. It has been proven that people who know that money is definitely coming, they proceed. So the first step is first to decide what that is. Then you want to find a vehicle that's liquid that you can get to within 1 to 3 days. If the worst comes to worst, can I get to this money within 1 to 3 days? A lot of people have their money inside of real estate, and yes, and a lot of purposes, real estate is a good place to put money. But what if you just hit a financial hardship? You need money, so you go to the bank and say, "Hey, I need to borrow money against my equity," and then they're going to see that you just lost your job, and they're going to say, "Well, how are you going to pay us back?" Yes, there's money there, but you can't get to it within 1 to 3 days. And even if they did approve it, and you have an emergency, does waiting a month for everything to close benefit you? So you really want your money to be liquid. You also want it to be safe. And I'm listing this in order. Most people usually jump to what's the rate of return first. That's the only thing they want to know is what's the rate of return. But nah, that's really number three. So number one, can I get to it within 1 to 3 days? Number two, is it safe? A lot of people have their money in volatile assets, and and if you have the knowledge and you have information and you have access to the right people, you can really make a lot of money with the knowledge, with the money in those volatile assets. However, most people, the retail investor, they're the last ones to get crucial information, and when the market shifts suddenly, they're the ones that take the biggest hit. It's
That's
happened
right.
multiple times to where you can go to sleep and then wake up and you've lost 40% of your principal overnight. So yeah, you could get to it within 1 to 3 days, but what is the stress worth? What does it do to your mindset if you know that every time you go to sleep, you can wake up and lost 30 to 40% of your principal. So you want it to be safe. And then you want to look at the good predictable rates of return. If somebody, and let me know if I'm just rambling here, because I know you asked me to give you the steps, but the way I give my steps is kind of long winded.
Mm-hmm.
Should I keep going, or I don't wanna take over the talking.
So I would love to have you keep going on this because this is something which personally I should also take away.
Okay,
I
perfect.
I might be sound selfish, but I would like to just add one point, Randolph here.
Yes,
We've
sis.
seen the examples. We have seen the 2008 housing crisis.
Mm.
We have seen some of the worst stock market crashes. I mean, and yes, you're right. Retail investors, we the people, we take the biggest hit. Nobody is gonna come and save us. It is us who are our own saviors. So yeah, now you can go on.
Oh yeah, and absolutely, it's the retail investors that take the biggest hits, but the hit is actually bigger than you think it is. Here's an example, and I'm gonna use $100,000, and to make the math easy, right? So let's say I have $100,000 and the market just dropped 50%.
Mhm.
50% of $100,000 is $50,000. So if the market just dropped 50%, I just lost 50,000 and now my capital is at 50,000. So let's say the market returns 50%. A
Mhm.
traditional advisor would say, "Hey, the market dropped 50% and then it came back 50%. You just broke even. All right. So now you just got to start from here." But the truth
Yeah.
is the matter. Think about it. If you're at 50,000 and now the market just went up 50%, what's 50% of 50,000? That's
20.
25,000. So if you started at 100,000 and it dropped 50%, you just lost 50,000 and it put you at 50,000. And if it goes up 50%, 50% of 50,000 is 25,000. Even though it seems like you just broke even, you're actually 25,000 short at 75,000. So the truth of the matter is when we take these big hits and let's just say 50%, you actually have to do 100% just to break even. And if you look at the market crash that you mentioned from 2008 to 2018, they call that the lost decade. Traditionally, out of every 10 years, there's only 3 down years and 7 up years. However, in that decade, there were 5 down years, and that was enough to cause all of that turmoil. So yeah, you definitely want it to be safe. Now, once it's liquid, once it's safe, then you want to look at the rates of return. Now, if you were to put your money in a standard savings account, yes, it'll be liquid. You can get to it within 1 to 3 days. Yes, it would be safe. You don't have to go to sleep and wake up and lose 50% of your money, but it's earning less than 1%. Here in the States, the average inflation rate is 3%, and that doesn't include the hyperinflation years. So if your money is only earning less than 1%, but the cost of everything is going up at least 3%, that means just your money in there is not earning good predictable rates of return and is not keeping up the pace of inflation. So you want to make sure it's in a vehicle where it does that. And then after it's liquid, after it's safe, after you're getting good predictable rates of return, then you want to look at the taxes because here's the thing. All of that makes no sense. All of that doesn't even matter what I just said. Because let me ask you, and I want to ask you, who would you rather be your business partner? Would you want a business partner like this? What if Avec said, "Hey, um, I want you to do all the work. I want you to kiss
Mhm.
all the babies. I want you to go to all the conferences. I want you to spend all your money. I don't want to spend anything, but I want you to do all that. And then at the end, when it's all said and done, I want half." No, as a matter of fact, I want to have the permission to change my mind in the future how much I get. That's what
Yeah, not
taxes
at all.
are.
Exactly. That's a great, lame
So
and
you don't want that business partner.
no, not at all. Not at all. Oh, okay, okay. So, also, Randolph, yeah, I mean, I think we have had so many conversations on this in our podcast that yes, there is a connection between mental wellness and financial literacy. But I guess in this whole, rigmarole of the current scenario, maybe we're talking, but we are not talking the right. We're not hitting the right nail in there. So I would love to know. I mean. Do you think there is a link, and if yes, then how we can get to the right point in there, how we can be sure, like, have a good sleep at night, thinking, not thinking that, oh my goodness, tomorrow I'm going to lose all my money, I should be really very careful.
Absolutely. What the connection you have to make is don't think about what it is, think about what it does.
Mm.
Whenever people typically say, I can't understand this person, they're giving me mixed signals, it's because you're trying to connect their actions to their words. Their words don't line up with their actions, but the most important thing is the action. Don't think about what it is, think about what it does. If I told you that there was something that you're able to have your money liquid, have it safe, have give you good predictable rates of return, have it be tax favored, you'd be say, yeah, I want that. But if I told you in order for you to get that, you have to follow Internal Revenue Code 7702, 72E, and 101A. And you're gonna say, well, what does that mean? It has to be life insurance. Oh no, I don't need any more life insurance. No, I didn't ask you if you needed life insurance. I asked you if you wanted something where your money would be liquid, safe, great predictable rates of returns, and tax favored. Oh yeah, I would take that. All right, it has to be life insurance. Oh no, I don't need any more life insurance. And once again, it's about the mindset. Once you say, all right, if getting life insurance structured the right way in the right vehicle can allow me all of these things, why wouldn't I look into it? It's like baking soda. Are you familiar with baking soda?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I do events and I ask people, well, what creative things can you do with baking soda? Can you think of some creative things that you could do with baking soda?
So, okay, I I was really bad at chemistry, but yeah, I can use it to clean utensils and clean dirt. It's a very good, I guess, agent for cleaning stuff. That's right.
Absolutely. Deodorizing the refrigerator, all of that good stuff, right? But
Yeah.
whenever I ask people that, you know what they don't typically say? What it was made for, baking, right?
Okay, okay, okay. Got it.
And that's the example. Don't think about what it is, think about what it does. So what I do for people, the way that I help them sleep great at night, and the way that I help them have their money go into the future, we tie it to life insurance policies, and we structure policies to where the living benefits are more important than the death benefits, to where a person is able to pull money annually until they die, with it being tax free, with it being able to get to, with it not losing any money, and with it being tax favored. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's a really good advice. Really good advice. I think I should also take this with myself. Um, okay, before we wrap up, Randolph, you have also you're writing a book called The Miracle Money Vehicle. Um, what specific, interesting takeaways can readers take from your book?
It'll go into the history of why the vehicles that I use are tax free. Actually, E.F. Hutton was the first company in the 1980s to bring it to the retail. The rich and powerful been utilizing these vehicles since the 1800s. E.F. Hutton was the first person to bring it to the retail investors, like we were talking about. And what happened was people were basically doing a run on the bank. They were pulling out hundreds and millions of dollars and put it into life insurance. So then the IRS sued E.F. Hutton, and then the IRS lost. So they had to make it because the wealthy wasn't going to let the IRS say that life insurance couldn't be utilized like this, right? So I go into the history of how all of that happened, and then I go into detail about how you can put these together because I'm just one man. I'm not able to help everybody, but if you're able to read this book, whoever you're working with, you should be able to go through this book and find somebody. If you can't get to me, find somebody that knows the knowledge that I know or close to it, or maybe even more, and utilize them to help you because it's just a tool. If you try to set this up by yourself with the wrong person, a lot of times it'll hurt. It's about the swing. If I were to go to you and say, would you rather have Michael Jordan's tennis shoes? Or would you rather have his ability to take off from the throw line, his ability to fade away, right? You would choose the not the tool, not the shoes, but the skills. With a life insurance policy, it has to be structured right and monitored by the right person in order for it to work. So I just teach you about the history and I teach you how you should monitor your policies and how to utilize these life insurance policies.
Wonderful, wonderful. And of course, Randolph, if our listeners would like to connect with you and get a hold of your upcoming book as well, what will be the best way to do that?
Well, what they can do is, for your audience, what we're doing is we'll go ahead and do a free unofficial business valuation or estate plan. All they have to do is text Healthy Mind 25, no spaces, no dashes, Healthy Mind 25 to +1 904 822 4262 +1 904 822 4262. I'll go ahead and send them that. That's how they can get in touch with me. And I also they can visit shieldwolfstrong.com. SHIELDWOLFSTRONG.com.
Great. I'll make sure to have all the links and the code mentioned in there for our listeners. And Randolph, I couldn't thank you enough. And this was really, really such an insightful, really gave a very, very fresh perspective on wealth, mindset, or legacy. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with all of us.
Nah, thank you for letting me run amok. Well, once I get on my soapbox, it's hard to get off. I appreciate you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Great. So, listeners, I urge all of you to start today. Open that infinite conceptual bank. Make daily deposits. Guard it like gold. Because the richest people, they don't just earn, they create. And if this episode gave you a new perspective on wealth, just like it did to me, then remember that mental capital is unlimited if you invest wisely, mindfully. Until then, this is Healthy Mind, Healthy Life, and I am your host, Sana. Stay wealthy where it matters most in your mind. Thank you.